What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel. And today we're going to preview Showdown 45. It's Port Adelaide versus Adelaide in an Adelaide Crows home showdown this weekend, Saturday twilight at 4:05 p.m. It's going to be an absolute belter of a game, and as usual, showdowns are always classics. So let's have a look and see what this game looks like it's going to bring, and the big impact it could have on season 2018. Well, we all remember last time Showdown was played.
The outnumber, they all crash down. Flashpoint, Stevie Moblop, what a time! Oh! He is floating on air now!
It was one hell of a victory by the Port Adelaide Footy Club in round 8 of this year, and Showdown 45 looks like it's going to build up to be another standard classic game that this showdown seems to bring every single time. It's another massive game for both sides in the context of 2018. More importantly though, it's a big game for Port Adelaide. Top 4 basically rides on this game, I feel. If we can set ourselves up to win this game and go ahead and win another couple out of the West Coast, Collingwood or Essendon fixtures, then we'll go a long way to finishing top 4. And perhaps if we can win all 4, we may even make top 2 depending on how the others go. But again, the Adelaide Crows are going to be looking to, well, I don't know if they can make the 8. I feel like their season's done. But, you know, if there's any possibility, they're still going to cling on to that. And, you know, the extra motivation of they could possibly ruin our season, our top 4 chances, and put a massive dent into that. Look, I think they'll be pushing quite hard. And I think, you know, we're 4th at the moment. Crows are 12th. Positions on the ladder mean absolutely nothing when it comes to a showdown. It's one of these games where it's just edge of your seat, high passionate stakes that are happening. The stakes are huge in terms of the context of this year for this one. Not as much as earlier in the year in Showdown 44 where Motlop kicked the goal and it was an instant classic. I don't really want to have another rendition of what happened last year in the Crows home showdown where we got absolutely poleaxed and we had to recover from there. But I feel like this time we're ready-made for it. We've got a better opportunity and more of an understanding on how we're going. And let's remember that Adelaide were basically one of the best teams last year. This year, obviously, they're down in 12th and haven't got it right all year. So it's going to be two clubs fighting it out in a rivalry for the ages. And this one in particular, as I keep saying, has a big impact this year. I think one of the main things Port has to do this weekend to get the job done over the Crows is to shut down their forward line. The players like Betts, Walker can turn it on if need be. McGovern's in the side. He's a big question to play this week, but if he's in, he plays really well. And Goal Square Jenkins. I feel like if we can shut them down, we've got Homps, we've got Jonas. Dougal Howard may be a possibility this week, we're not too sure, but we've also got Cleary down there as well, so we've got coverage there with DBJ to possibly play on Eddie Betts, but I'd put Jonas on him. I feel like he'd have a big more of a shutdown role on Eddie, and you know, it will really slow up their play going forward, and getting rid of that craft the Crows have in their forward line will go a long way for Port winning this game. But that, on the flip side, has to be more of an attacking mindset for Port, because our goal kicking this year and our scoring ability has slowed down tremendously, almost 3 goals off of last year at 82 points, and the Crows are averaging 83, so very similar in that aspect. Mainly you look at it and Charlie Dixon is the key. He kicked 5 goals last week against the Dogs. He kicked I think about 12 goals in 4 games over the last 4 games. So he kicked 4 against the Saints. He kicked I think a couple against GWS, and then yeah, he's now kicked 5 this week, so he's really looking in good touch at the moment. If he can continue that form against the Crows, he might Italia might have his work cut out for him on the day. But the weather's going to play a big part. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to rain. It's going to be quite cold, so pretty similar conditions to what it was in Ballarat, so that may play into our hand, but we're not the best in the wet weather footy aspect, so it's going to come down to being in the midfield. I think the big thing is if players like Wines, Powell-Pepper, Wingard in there, Ebert, Polek as well running off the wing. It's going to be interesting, Rockcliffe as well, to see how how they go against the likes of Sloane. You've got Gibbs, Matt Crouch is in there as well. Malira's running off the half-back line. Brodie Smith may come back as well. Shutting down their run, they are quite a good running side. They can transition quite well. I think their skills might not be as good as they were last year, so we may be able to counter-attack on that with those turnovers, because I think the Crows average 75 turnovers compared to Port's 72, which is pretty similar, but 3 turnovers in a game could turn out to be 3 goals, and 3 goals is big in the context of one of these games. It's a big, big opportunity for Paddy Ryder to get back into some form. Obviously, we know he's been injured for the last couple of weeks, and he played basically half a game last week against the Dogs, so it's going to be a big task for him up against Jacobs. We always really pinpoint this matchup because these two are probably the most important players for each team. Ruckman is so crucial in this day and age, and for us in particular, for Port's structure to hold really well and be really strong, Paddy Ryder has to play. And going against Jacobs, they have had a couple of good duels this year and last year. Obviously, round 3 last year. This one in particular, he was dominated quite well in year 1 last year. In the later one where we got absolutely pants pulled down, but Paddy Ryder's got the edge, I think, this year, and this time he's looking pretty good as Jacobs has lost a bit of touch. But nonetheless, it's still going to be a big game, and those two in particular are going to be absolutely crucial to how this game is going to look, and especially if you link that with clearances. Port Adelaide are number one team in the competition for clearances. The Crows are 8th. So first hand to the ball, players like Wines, Wingard, as I mentioned before, they're going to feed off of Paddy Ryder, and if they can continue that form and really be good followers underneath and play our pressure game up forward, keep the ball inside 50, it's going to go a long way to us kicking a big score on the weekend against the Crows. And it's pretty easy to score against the Crows this year. Wouldn't have been of last year or any other years, but 82 points as the average, and coincidentally our average is 82 per year, compared to our defensive line, which is 70 points per game. So we might not be scoring as much, but we're still, kicking some goals to win these types of games. And I think it's going to be crucial for that to be the case. And, it links in with clearances too. It all links together. All these stats, clearances go inside 50s, Port are 4th, Crows are 12th for inside 50s, clearances 1st, Crows 8th. And as I said, the points average. So if we can keep it more in our forward line and really take our opportunities going forward and get a 50-55% efficiency scoring when we go forward, it's going to be a big, make a big difference in this game on the weekend. So we look at predictions. Firstly, the changes. I don't know what's going to happen. The Crows are going to get some key players back. Doherty's back. Douglas, Brodie Smith can come back as well. It's going to be really interesting to see how they do their changes. Obviously, Seedsman's out for them, so that's a big loss. So Brodie Smith looks the most likely to come back. And for us, I don't know if we'll do much of a change. I doubt we'll even bring in anyone. So you might see us go unchanged. We might do a 1 or 2, but it depends on what it is. But I feel like we will go unchanged this week. And, keep a consistent side, which we haven't done over the last few weeks. Predictions for the match itself. Look, I'm going to be a bit biased and say Port Adelaide are going to win. I think they'll win by about 7 points. I don't know if it'll be a big scoring game. It's going to be quite windy and wet. So 7 points, Port Adelaide will get across the line. I reckon Jared Pollock will be a star on the day, and I reckon he'll get the best on-ground nod and win the Showdown medal. Well, that's it, Port fans. That wraps up this round 20 preview of Port Adelaide versus Adelaide. Comment below what you think your predictions will be for this weekend's game. Let's get across the line. I know a lot of us won't be going because it's a Crows home game, so if you're around South Australia and you're cheering, make sure you cheer loud and proud from your bedroom or from your lounge room or wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in, Port fans. Follow the Porters podcast on Spreaker. Our latest podcast is out now. The Footy Chat podcast as well. Tune in for that for all your AFL content if you want to listen to anything other than Port Adelaide. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for plenty more Port Adelaide content coming your way on a weekly basis. Thanks for watching, Port fans. My name's Anthony, and for this week, as per usual, come a pair.